What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Sands and Friends podcast. Today we have the NFL Sports Report for Week 8. Let's go. You know how we like to do it. We like to give you them picks, the games of the week, the games that interest us, the mano-a-mano matchup, fantasy football starts and sits, and the power rankings. And last, we give you that pick 6, baby. We're going to go ahead and get into the action. We got the game of the week. 4-2 Philadelphia Eagles at the 3-4 Cincinnati Bengals. Both teams have won 3 out of the past 4 games. You got Philly beat New York Giants 28-3 last week. Bengals beat Cleveland 21-14. The Bengals are looking for their first home win on the season. All of their victories have come on the road. The Eagles have a number 2 rushing attack behind the Baltimore Ravens. They're averaging 166 yards a game with Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts, okay? Jalen Hurts leads the Eagles with 1,308 yards and 7 TDs with 4 rushing TDs on the season. Saquon has 658 rushing yards with 5 touchdowns on the season rushing. A.J. Brown leading that receiving corps with 324 and 3 TDs. You got Joey Burrows leading the Bengals, 1,759 yards with 14 TDs. You got Chase Brown leading the rushing attack with 327 and 3 TDs. And Jamar Chase with 620 yards and 6 TDs for the Bengals. The Bengals open up 2.5-point favorites, and the over opened at 46. It's now up to 47.5. So people thinking that it's going to be a lot of points scored. So that is our game of the week. Stay tuned. Come back to see who won that game, okay? In the games that interest us, you know we got them Buccaneers, baby. The Falcons 4-3 coming into Tampa 4-3. We seen this 3 weeks ago. The Falcons took that in overtime. Some of the players are out, so we're going to see. There's going to be some new faces out there and see if these guys for Tampa Bay can make a name for themselves, because we lost Chris Godwin and we lost Mike Evans for quite some time, guys. So we're going to see if these young guys, McMillan, Palmer, and Russell Shepard, and Ryan Miller can step up and lead the Bucs to victory. Both teams coming off a loss. The Seahawks beat Atlanta and the Ravens beat the Buccaneers. Both lost to the Birds. Kirk Cousins leads Atlanta with 1,830 yards and 10 touchdowns on the year. Bijan Robinson, 483 yards with 4 TDs on the season. And Drake London has 491 yards receiving and 5 TDs to lead the Falcons. You got Baker Mayfield, 1,859 yards with 18 touchdowns on the season. You got Lucky Bucky Irvin, 351 yards rushing, 3 TDs for the Bucs. You got Cade Otton is the next leading receiver after Godwin and Mike Evans. So he's got 263 yards receiving and a TD on the season. Like I said, we're going to see if those young guys, Shepard, McMillan, Miller, and Palmer can lead the Bucs. That's the first game that interests us. Next, we got Colts 4-3 at the Texans 5-2. This is for first place in the AFC South Division. Colts beat Miami last week, and the Texans lost to Green Bay. Anthony Richardson, 783 yards and 3 TDs leading the Colts. Jonathan Taylor expected to come back from injury, 349 yards and 4 TDs. And Alec Pierce, 383 yards and 3 TDs, leading that receiving corps for the Colts. You got C.J. Stroud, had that game to forget last week. I'm expecting him to go for 300 yards passing today. Had 86 passing yards last week. He gonna go for over 300. Book it. C.J. Stroud, 1,663 passing yards and 10 TDs. Joey Mixon, 401 rushing yards and 4 TDs. You got Tank Dell and Stephon Diggs leading that receiving corps. The Colts have won 4 out of 5 games. We're going to see what matches up in this one, the game that interests us. We got Bills at Seahawks. Bills 5-2 at Seahawks 4-3. The Bills got Amari Cooper last week. Amari Cooper scored a touchdown in his first game with the Bills. So that's an improvement to the offense. The Seahawks have the number 1 passing offense in the league, but they might be short DK Metcalf, so that means Jackson Enigma Smith and Tyler Lockett gonna have to step up in this one, okay? The Bills have some good DBs, though. They have a good trio of DBs, Teron Johnson and them. So we're gonna see if they can hold those Seattle Seahawks with the number one passing defense in check. Josh Allen for the Bills, 1,483 yards with 12 TDs on the season. James Cook, 341 yards and 5 TDs. Keon Coleman, 326 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns on the season for the Bills. Geno Smith leading that Seahawks attack with 1,985 yards and 8 TDs. You got Kenneth Walker III, 303 yards and 5 TDs on the season. And Lockett is the best available receiver at 384 and 1 touchdown on the year. The Bills open up as 2.5-point favorites on this one, game that interests us. The last game we're going to pay attention to is the 4-2 Chicago Bears at the 5-2 Washington Commanders. These are the 2 rookie quarterbacks who were chosen number 1 and number 2 in the draft. These guys going head to head, basically mano y mano. Yeah, you know we like it like that. Daniels is coming in questionable. He hurt his ribs last week, so he's questionable for the game. The Bears coming in on a 3-game win streak, baby. You got Caleb Williams, 1,317 yards and 9 TDs on his rookie season. DeAndre Swift, 325 yards and 3 TDs, and DJ Moore, 314 receiving with 3 TDs as well. You got Jaden Daniels, 1,410 yards and 6 TDs on the season. Brian Robinson Jr., 396 yards with 6 touchdowns. And Terry McLaurin, 454 yards and 4 TDs. Is Mariota going to get the start? Can he do it again? Or is Jaden Daniels going to be able to play this week? We're going to find out. And those are the games that interest us, guys. Moving right along to mano y mano. First mano y mano matchup. We like to take a look at the individual matchups. The game within the game, we got Jalen Ramsey going up against Marvin Harrison Jr., the rookie. Marvin Harrison Jr. has 20 catches for 300 yards on the season with 4 TDs. Jalen Ramsey has 24 tackles, 2 passes defended, and has yet to get his first interception on the season. Last game, Marvin Harrison Jr. had 3 catches for 21 yards, so he's going to be looking to get more involved. If the Cardinals want to win, they got to get that guy the ball. Jalen Ramsey is going to be looking for his first interception on the season. Can he get it this week? Who wins the battle? Who wins the matchup? Next matchup, we got Malik Nabers going against Joey Porter Jr. Nabers has 39 catches on the season, 427 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Joey Porter Jr. with 24 tackles, 1 INT, and 3 passes defended on the season. He held Garrett Wilson in check last week. He gets a little more physical, bigger, athletic target, so to speak, this week. So can he do the same? Or is Malik Nabers going to come in and run his game? We gonna find out in the mano y mano matchup. Pay attention to that one. Next one, we going down in the trenches. We got William McDonald IV, 8 sacks on the season, 2nd in the league, going against those Patriots offensive tackles, DeMontre Jacobs and Verdarian Lowe. We're gonna see if those guys can keep Will McDonald off of Drake May, because one thing we know, when you got a good D-line, they find their way to the quarterback. And this guy is 2nd in the league with 8 sacks. He's looking to get to double digits. Patriots have been sacked 25 times. Can Will McDonald get to double digits this week? We're going to find out. And those are our mano y mano matchups for the week. Tune in to get the recap. Moving into fantasy football. We're going to start some, we're going to sit some. We're going to get into them starts, and we're going to put them other ones on the bench. First off, quarterback. We're starting Jordan Love. He's going against Jacksonville. Expect big points. Jaguars defense haven't really been able to stop too much passing. We're going to see what Love does. Next, you got Breece Hall going against the New England Patriots. The Jets running back should have a lot of open space against the Patriots run defense. T. Higgins from Cincinnati going against the Philadelphia Eagles. A lot of passing yards there, a lot of points. T. Higgins going to be a good play. Then you got Dalton Kincaid, Buffalo Bills going up against Seattle. Look for Kincaid to exploit that Seattle secondary. Then you got the Chargers as a starting defense. They're going against a banged up New Orleans team, and the Chargers are a very solid defense, so we're starting the Chargers D. And we're also starting the Chargers kicker, Cameron Dicker. He's going against New Orleans as well, so expect Cameron Dicker to kick that ball. Other potential starts are Bo Nix. We got Bo Nix as a potential start. We got J.K. Dobbins as a potential start. And somebody's been missing all season, but pay attention to Tyreek Hill. He has a good matchup for start. Who's about to ride that pine and get a splinter in they behind? We got Justin Herbert. We're going to sit Justin Herbert against New Orleans. New Orleans got a pretty solid secondary, so we're going to sit Herbert, okay? And we're going to sit Madison against the Kansas City Chiefs. The Vegas running back is going against the #1 rush defense, and the Chiefs don't expect much out of Madison this week. We're going to bench Terry McLaurin going against Chicago. Chicago has a stingy defense, and they don't like to give up the pass. So we're going to see if McLaurin can do anything with that Chicago defense. Then we taking Sam Laporta, and we sticking him on the bench against Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans have been tough against tight ends. We're going to see if Laporta can crack that, or if he's going to make me look like a genius by sending him on the bench. Then we got the Raiders defense. I think Kansas City going to get on track this week. I'm looking for 30 points for Kansas City for the first time this season. Look for them to have a big game. So we're sitting the Raiders defense. Then we're sitting Josh Myers as he's playing Buffalo Bills this week. So Buffalo stingy defense. We're not expecting Josh Myers to do much kicking. Other potential sits are Drake May for the Patriots, Alvin Kamara at running back, and Marvin Harrison Jr. going up against Jalen Ramsey. Don't expect too much out of those guys. Those are our fantasy starts and sits. Moving into power rankings. The power rankings where you got to be the top 15 to make this list, baby. You know how it go. We got a new #1, baby, as Minnesota lost this week and dropped to 3. Kansas City moves up to #1, baby. +1, they were #2. Then you got Detroit Lions moved up to 2. They moved up from #3. Then you got the Vikings. They fell 2 spots to #3. Then you got the Baltimore Ravens up 2 spots to #4. You got Pittsburgh Steelers jumping up 3 spots this week to #5. You got Washington #6 up 1 spot from 7. You got Houston fell from #4 down to #7 after that loss. You got Chicago. They moved up 3 spaces at #8. You got Buffalo at #9. They stayed the same. You got Green Bay up 2 spots to #10 from 12. You got Philly up 2 spots to #11. And you got a newcomer in Seattle at 12. You got Atlanta. They fell the furthest in the polls today. They went from 5 to 13, an 8-spot drop right there. Then you got the newcomer in Denver Broncos back into the fold again after taking a week off. And last but not least, my Buccaneers, #15. We fell 5 spots after that loss to the Ravens and losing Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. I'm so saddened by that. But those are our power rankings. Last but definitely not least is the moment everybody been waiting for. We are 14-5 on the season, 11-9 overall against the spread. We are straight up 14-5, so we're gonna pick 6. We're gonna get back to 6, no bonuses this week. We're gonna give you that pick 6 for your parlay. Are you ready? Is you ready, baby? Here we go. First pick, Ravens at Browns. We got the Ravens gonna get all over them Browns. Browns are suffering injury at quarterback. They haven't been putting up a lot of points. Ravens have. Ravens 38, Browns 10. Next, we got Titans at the Lions. Titans just traded D-Hop. They don't have much offense as is. Lions have a lot. Lions 34, Titans 14. Then we got Panthers at the Broncos. The Broncos got that stingy defense, and the Panthers haven't been very formidable, looking like they might be in competition for that #1 pick. Broncos 27, Panthers 10. Chiefs and the Raiders, an old school rivalry renewed. The Chiefs get back on track this week against the Raiders. Chiefs 35, Raiders 17. New York Giants at Pittsburgh Steelers. I think this is going to be a little closer than most people expect. I'm going Pittsburgh 21, Giants 14. In our game of the week, we got Philadelphia at Cincinnati. Cincinnati opened up 2.5-point favorites. I like them to cover that. I'm going Cincinnati at home, 31-24. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the Week 8 NFL Sports Report, all signed, sealed, and delivered for your betting pleasure and viewing pleasure. If you love the show, subscribe. If you love the information that I'm giving you and you're winning money off these bets, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Give me a like. If you're winning that money, just give me a like. I don't need a cut. Just give me a like. But hey, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Y'all know how we like to do it here. I'm going to see you at the top. Whew.